Hi guys, I'm Ananya and welcome to the Bits Reviews YouTube channel. I just entered my second year and me and my batchmates have a lot of questions regarding Huels, OpEls, DLs and SOPs, LOPs and DOPs. To clear this for us, today we have Bhavya Goenka and Arjav Mehta with us. Bhavya and Arjav, can you just give us a brief background?
Right. So, hello everyone. I am Arjav and I am from the Economics and Mechanical branch. Basically, I have a dual degree and I am from 2020 batch. That is, I'll be going into my third year this semester.
Hi guys, I'm Bhavya Goenka. Like Arjav, I'm also a dualite pursuing my MSc in chemistry and engineering in mechanical, and I'll be also going in my third year.
To begin with, can you explain to us the difference between Huels, DELs, OpEls and project type courses?
Right. So, ULs are basically humanities electives, which are part of your degree requirements that you need to pass out from the college. So, the minimum requirements are 3 courses and 8 units, which effectively becomes 9 units because most of the ULs are of 3 units each. So, yeah, that's the minimum requirement that you need to complete 3 units by the end of your degree at BITS Pilani. Usually people complete the ULs by the end of the second year because that's basically preferable overall.
And you also asked about DELs and OPELs. So DELs are basically department electives. So when you are pursuing a degree, you have a component of CDC, which are core disciplinary courses, which everyone has to pursue, and which are like they're fixed in which semester you will be pursuing. But DELs are other courses of your core branch, which you decide that what courses do you want to take in this semester. So generally, in single degree there are 4 DELs, and in dual degree there are 5 DELs. Economics being an exception, having 6 DELs, and chemical for single degree having 5 DELs. Apart from that, there's also concept of OPELs, which are open electives. Generally, single degree students have to do 5 OPELs. So OPELs are the courses which you take outside of your department. Suppose someone who is in chemical branch and has interest in computer science, so they can take courses from computer science department and complete their OPEL requirements. Whenever you complete your UL requirements and you start doing extra duels, they also start coming under OPEL. But dualites don't have the capacity to do OPELs because their schedule is only packed, and their OPEL requirement is generally met by the disciplinary lectures and CDCs of their second degree.
And since you also talked about project type courses, I'll just give you an intro for that as well. So as the bulletin says, there are 4 type of project type courses at BITS Pilani. So those are study oriented projects, which are SOPs, lab oriented projects, which are LOPs, design oriented projects, that are DOPs, and special projects. So like right on special projects for now, basically you can only do special projects once you have completed all your degree CDC's requirements. So that take right on that for now. The 3 main things are SOPs, LOPs, and DOPs. So as the name implies, like LOPs are lab oriented, so you'll have more of a practical work under there. And DOPs are design oriented, so you'll be designing stuff under a professor. And SOPs are basically somewhat research oriented. So like it could be it could be your introduction towards the research project under a professor. So usually project type courses can be substituted as a DEL or a UL as well. So for DELs, you can substitute some 3 of your DELs as project type courses. So maximum of 3 can be done. And in total, it should be remembered that a maximum of 5 project type courses can be completed by a person, which includes a maximum of 1 SOP, 2 DOPs, and 2 LOPs. So this should be kept in mind about project type courses. That's it.
And you can take project type courses from your 2-2 only. And in 2-2, you can take only a study oriented project. From 3-1, you
Right.
can take NOP or DOP.
Okay, that makes it pretty clear. So, another question is that can you give us a sample course structure for second year student, like preferably one that has been taken in real life or your course structures? Can you explain those?
Uh, so there is nothing like a sample course structure, because for every student the course structure is unique because of the flexibility that BITS offers. So I would suggest that Bulletin would be the best place to refer for it, because Bulletin has combination for all the degrees, and for all the students it will have a sample course structure for second year and onwards, and it also prescribes that when you should take a Huel and Opel and Dells. So I think Bulletin is the best to prefer for this.
Otherwise, what usually happens is people take the Huels in second year itself, complete the requirements in the second year itself, so that leaves out space for Dells and Opels in third and fourth year. And for dualites, people prefer to complete Huels in the second year itself, so as to pursue a dual PS in 5.1 and 5.2, so that they can. So in third and fourth year, they only have to complete the Dells of both the degrees. So ideally, what people do is they take two Huels in 2.1 and the third Huel in 2.2. So what I personally did was I had 4 CDCs, M3 and EVS. These 6 in 2.1. Additionally, I took 2 Huels as well. So 24 units and 8 courses in 2.1. And then in 2.2, I had 4 CDCs, took one. I had 5 CDCs, took one Huel and 2 Dells. So again, 8 courses and 24 units. So that is something commonly you will find, that most of the people try to get done with the Huel by the end of the second year.
Okay, thank you. That was also pretty informative. Now, let's talk about Huels in specific, because there are a lot of questions. So, the first question that we've gotten is, what should I prioritize in the picking of Huels, easy, grade, or interest?
So there are two types of mindset comes into picture. Like there are some students who would prefer grading over the interest, because there are some ULs which are believed to have comparatively light grading to others. So they tend to go for that. And there is other set of students which try to pursue their interest. Like if they would have not pursued engineering, in what degree they would have chosen their career, or some subjects that they would study, they would like to study. So it depends on a person to person. Basically, I in my second year preferred grading. So I specifically chose those ULs which are believed to have a light grading.
Right. So opposite to that, I was dead sure that whatever the grading may be, I wanted to pursue Huels as something out of interest. So I knew that some specific Huels interest me a lot. So these are something that I have to make a choice out of. So while selecting Huels, that's basically two options that you can think about. If you want to, if you're dead focused on increasing your CGPA, you can choose I'll take this Huel that has right grading and the course content is also right. So people end up taking that for a short good CG. Otherwise, there's other set of people that are specifically interested in some field, want to explore that field, so they take up that Huel. So you can do that. At the end of the day, it's up to you what side do you want to choose. Otherwise, for choosing a Huel, basically, I'd suggest talk to the seniors. All of you must be in some of the other WhatsApp group, maybe your branch group, maybe your club or department groups. So shortlist some Huels, ask on the group if someone has pursued it, and talk to that person how was the grading and how was the course structure. Also check the handout as well, like handouts of the particular courses. Match the two things and then decide that this is the Huel I want to take. So, yeah.
So, do you guys have any recommendations on what Huels are interesting and what all are known to boost your CGPA? Can you guys recommend any?
Okay, so like there is no particular rule of thumb about this. There are some ULs like PAVA, business communication, intro to mass comm, which are believed to have a comparatively light rating, and that is just because of their past year gradings. But it's completely up to the IC what the grading will be. Like in our time, Bhagavad Gita was a kind of popular UL and was believed to have light rating, but in our one of the semesters, the grading was pretty tough. So you cannot just rely that the grading will be light. It's just a belief on the basis of past year grading.
And just remember the fact that if you're taking up a Huel only on the basis of grading, all of the other people as well in that Huel are taking up that Huel just for the grading as well. So you will be competing a lot for the good grade. So that's something to keep in mind if you're taking a Huel for the grading or how light it is.
Okay. So we wanted to ask you that can you categorize the Huels, like what Huels are scientific, what are theory based, like what are idealistic, and what are like history based?
So there's no hard defined categories, but if you go through the Huel's list, you'll find a bunch of things that you can categorize them into. Like for example, there's a Huel called science, tech, and modernity. So as the name implies, you'll have some history about science and tech as well, but it's basically a theoretical course, right? You'll have history courses like modern history or Indian contemporary history. So that you'll have history courses, then you'll have something about literature and cinema. So there's critical analysis of literature and cinema or cinematic adaptation. So at the end of the day, it's just a lot of fields, a lot of options. You don't need hard set criteria or categories for that. Just have a look through the Huel's list and you can decide thereafter.
Okay, thank you so much for this information. And another question is that there are some people who complete their required number of Huels in 2-1 itself. So if someone wants to do the same, how do you do it without affecting your CDC grades?
It firstly depends on the branch of the person, because there are very few branches which allows you to complete all three ULs in the 2-1 itself. And apart from that, if a person takes 3 ULs, then it becomes a bit difficult for them, because in 2-1 it's the first time they will be actually exploring their engineering field. So they will have their CDCs, which is a kind of very unique, because the course structure is very unique to them. So if they want to concentrate on their CDCs and explore the branch, then I would recommend that they shouldn't take 3 ULs, because it burdens them. So, but if people do this because they have the option of dropping one course after midterm, so generally people take as a backup the 3 ULs, because once after midterm they realize they are not doing well in one of the ULs, they can drop it. So it does not waste their units of that set.
And while like most of the people that I have seen personally that have taken 3 ULs in one semester end up taking copywriting as one of the ULs. So copywriting is one of the few ULs that has like 2 units only. So people that take 3 ULs take 2 3-unit courses and then copywriting, which is a 2-unit course. So you can only take up 3 ULs in a semester if your schedule allows it to. Supposedly you have EVS as well in that semester. I don't think you will be able to take 3 ULs. So check your course structure once. That then only you can make sure I'll be able to take 3 ULs or not.
Okay, thank you so much. That was some insightful information. And to elaborate on the aspect of dropping off Huels, how do people do that, and how can we change our Huels, and when do we have to do that? Can you please elaborate?
Okay, so choosing UL is in choosing UL, the big factor which is a PR number. Generally, people having a low PR number have many choices, but while people having a higher PR number don't have enough choices while making their timetable. So they end up taking UL which is not of their interest. So just after the registration, within 1 or 2 weeks, there is an option of substitution. So in that you can switch your ULs. You will first get the list of number of seats remaining in different ULs, and then you can switch. And in substitution, priority is given to the people having higher PR number. Basically, it's reversed then. So people having bad PR number can have good ULs during substitution. And about dropping, you can drop your ULs or beat any other elective after the midterms.
Okay, thank you so much for that information. So finally, do you have any other inputs that you would like to give to our second year rights who've just moved into the second year? Or any other mistakes that you must have made that you want us to avoid?
Right. So about Huels, basically, I'll first of all want to point out that language lab is not a Huel. A lot of people end up taking language lab as a Huel, and it's an OpEl. So you eventually end up dropping it, especially like dual rights. So please don't do that. Secondly, there's also an option that you can pursue a SOP SOP as a Huel. So if you take up a SOP under some humanities professor, then you can list that as your Huel as well. But the thing to keep in mind here is you can only take one SOP in your whole, like there's some limit for SOPs in your whole uh, in complete degree requirements for you. So you can only take one SOP if you are a single degree student in total. So you'll have to make a choice if you do that with a Huel or if you do that with a Dell, right?
Yeah.
So keep that in mind as well. Yeah, otherwise I'll just say also remember that Huels are code, like under the bits codes, they are under GS code, under bits code, and under HSS code. So a bunch of people miss the bits code as well, so just go through the bits codes as well, that they'll have Huels under that. Otherwise just check the bulletin to confirm everything. The bulletin has all the information about Huels as well. So there's a lot of Huels that are listed there that Rani campus doesn't offer, so try to match that bulletin with the timetable that you receive. And finally, just remember that not the same Huels might not be offered in the second semester. So the list of Huels that are offered in 2-1 might or might not be offered again in 2-2. So yeah, just keep that in mind.
And one thing is you should be careful while making your timetable and avoid dropping courses, because if you start dropping courses in 2-1 or 2-2, you will have some extra credits in 2-1 2-2 which will get wasted. And then I would recommend to not waste credits during your second year, because for dualites anyways third and fourth year would be hectic, so they should save those extra credits for that year. And for singleites, they have to sit for their summer intern and placement in third and fourth year, so they should also save some extra credits.
Okay, thank you so much for that. So do you have any recommendations for Huels that impact your CV?
About your CV, while a lot of people take up some Huels that they say might impact your CV, supposedly like business communication or professional ethics, I personally believe that Huels don't really affect your CV much at all. Like I don't think any company would reject you because you have not taken business communication at undergrad. So they don't really affect your CV as such, but if you want something to mention on a CV, yeah, sure, why not?
Okay. So another very asked question is, can you tell us what minors are and when you have to pick a minor, and elaborate more on finance minors because people are very interested in them?
Okay, so minors are like kind of a degree only, which have option for, like in the end of 2-2 you have to declare your minor. So some of the popular minors are data science and finance minor. For Siglite, it's very easy to complete a minor because you have to do 5 OPELs, and minors also require mostly 5 courses. So it gets they instead of the 5 OPELs they do 5 courses of minor. So finance is one of the popular ones. So for finance, people usually the singlites take start taking the courses in their 2-2 itself. Mostly people go for the fundamental of finance and accounting, and then 3-1 3-2 they complete their minor, because whenever the companies come for finance, they don't check your CG as such, they will check your offshoot score. Offshoot is basically the sum of the grade points that you receive in the finance courses. So it is out of 50, and on base of their offshoot only people are placed in finance companies. And for dualites, doing minors could be a very hectic process because their curriculum is packed till 4-2. So if a dualite wants to pursue a minor, then they have to go for a summer term. Otherwise, they cannot pursue a minor.
And right about that offshoot thing. So offshoot scores are used for your PS allotments basically. So when you sit for PS2, and if you want to sit in a finance company, your offshoot scores, your CGPA, and your profile, and whatever factors PS2 like PS division takes under it. So offshoot is one of the major factor that they consider during a PS2 allotments, and not for placements. Like there's no finance placements like separately. So it only comes during PS2, right? Basically, if you want to plan a minor by the end of 2-1, you should think about taking up a minor or not. So talk to your seniors about it. Talk to people who have taken up that minor before. There's a bunch of other minors as well if you want to pursue. Like there's a minor in physics as well, and water and sanitation. Many other minors as well. But the popular ones are, as you said, data science and finance, right?
Okay, thank you so much, Bhavya and Arjun. That information must have helped our viewers a lot. Okay, so let's end this video here. Thank you so much, Bhavya and Arjun, for your time. This session was very helpful for our viewers. And I would also like to add that if you want reviews for specific Huels, please check the EPC article linked down below.